So good afternoon, everyone. For those who are interacting with the brand for the first time, my name is Olad, and I'll be your host today. Welcome to another free webinar by Accounting Yard, where we try to add value to the accounting profession. One of the critical challenges we identified is that people don't properly prepare for interview. And this webinar is going to help you know how to leverage AI to improve your preparation, right? Because the reality is the world is evolving and you have to evolve with it. Yeah. So this particular webinar is to help you become better in preparation for interview and better build your confidence and give you the kind of results that you want through the process of interview. One critical thing I'll mention is that the reality is as much as AI can improve your preparation, there's also a piece to you yourself, investing yourself to get better. AI cannot do that piece, right? You need to ensure you're investing yourself to become a better accountant, right? Because the reality is that every organization is looking for someone who can add value to them, right? And as a result, that comes from actually you investing in yourself. Interview is only an opportunity to say how well you're able to communicate the investment and value you bring in, such that an employer is able to see that value and say, no, this person is a great resource. So if you don't have both, it's like garbage in, garbage out. It's not just preparing, but also investing in yourself. So for those who are familiar with us, basically, we are bringing what we call the accountant advantage. Master your next interview with AI. This session will equip you with revolutionary AI-powered framework to outperform competition and secure your ideal accounting role. Like I said, this webinar is for free, meaning that anybody attending this webinar, you don't need to pay a dime to be on this webinar. And this is not the first time we're organizing a webinar like this. Last year or last 2 years, we organized a webinar where we did mock interview for accountants, whereby accountants, we interviewed them to have a feel of what it feels like during the course of an interview. That's available on our YouTube channel. Let me quickly copy and share the link of our YouTube channel with you. Where is that? I'm struggling to find the web page. Yeah, let me quickly find the web page quickly. Yeah, so let me just find, I'm going to copy the Accounting YouTube channel. So that anybody joining the webinar, I will encourage you to follow it, as we have over 100 videos available on the YouTube channel across multiple webinars. Webinar around month-end closing, webinar around cash flow projection, webinar around interviewing, webinar around preparing for tax audits, and a lot. How accounting in the oil and gas sector, and a lot. So just go to YouTube channel, subscribe, watch, and learn. And everything is for free, right? Even preparation of money accounts for free, available on the YouTube channel. So who are we? So we are building the future of accounting in Africa and the world together. We've trained over 3,500 plus accountants. These are across various subject matters, from preparation of money accounts, FS preparation, accounting circle, tax practice academy, audits, practical audit academy, right? Budgeting, financial analysis, right? Excel for accountant, and a whole lot. Now, we do this through various means. One, we organize trainings at very cheap, affordable prices. We share content on our various social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, IG, whatever social media platform. So if you're looking at any place and you want to learn, all those social media platforms, if you follow us on a daily basis, we share content that accountants will learn on. We also have good videos available on YouTube, like I mentioned. We have over 100 very high impactful videos from webinars and courses available on YouTube, which you can learn from. And it's what? For free. And this is because we understand the fact that for our accountants, one critical piece is, at the end of the day, if you are going for an interview and you don't have value to deliver, it's not sufficient, right? So at the end of the day, all these resources, by following us, by subscribing to our YouTube channel, you get to improve yourself and become a better value in terms of you as a professional accountant. For those who attended our webinar around preparation of a cash flow projection, which was for free, you see that they saw value in our ability to deliver at any point in time. So as you join us, if you're interacting with us for the first time, we encourage you to not underestimate the value we deliver, but follow us as we are here to make an impact in the lives of accountants in this profession. Yeah. So who am I? So today I am your host. My name is Olad, and I'm here to basically drive this session by sharing resourceful information basically around the use of AI to help you improve your preparation for interviews. I have over a decade experience within the finance and accounting space. I started my career in one of the big fours, and I've grown all the years to become the head of finance, right? If you listen to or you follow our YouTube channel, you'd have heard my voice one or twice. And if you've taken trainings by Accounting Yard, you most likely must have heard my voice at one point or the other. As much as possible, don't underestimate the fact that I'm present here. I can tell you that whatever I'm giving, right, it's something that people will pay to get. But like I said, this is for free. Yeah. So don't undermine the fact that we're organizing for free and think that, oh, what else? Yeah. Now, as much as possible, if you are joining us for the first time, some key ground rules. One, you're going to be at mute at every point in time. So what we've done is that if you check, we've muted all participants, meaning that no one is able to talk. It doesn't mean that you cannot interact with us. Just by sending a chat to the chat box or signify by raise of your hands, we'll definitely unmute you to hear what you have to say. Now, we welcome questions, right? Because the reality is that the beauty of this webinar is ability of different participants to share their own perspective, what they've encountered during the course of an interview, and bring on board, right? Now, a lot of people say, oh, what about the recording? Now, the recording is going to make available to everybody. Right now, the recording we typically do is the session is being recorded. We'll upload to YouTube channel, meaning by this time, tomorrow is available. In short, by midnight today, it will be available. And whatever materials that we use during the course of the webinar will also be on YouTube. If you just need to just click see more, and you see the link to how to access all the materials that are used during the course of the webinar. Now, leverage the chat box. If you have any question, please feel free to use the chat box to ask questions, right? As those places, I will go there during the course of the webinar to go through the questions, and also have my co-pilot who is going to also be checking the question in chat box and can respond to questions as they come through. And any question unanswered, I myself will address it during the course of this webinar. Yeah. Now, just to give you some perspective, right now, this is our 2025 training calendar. We just completed our financial modeling training today, and we'll be starting the Excel for accountants by next week, Saturday. So if you're looking at as an accountant to improve your knowledge around the use of Excel, a lot of times people think they know Excel, but the reality is that they are not maximizing the full potential of how they could improve their productivity at work using the course of Excel. And I encourage you, just for 16,000 for virtual, you can join our training on Excel for accountants, which is happening by next week, Saturday, just for 16,000. And trust me, it's going to be for close to a month, right? Roughly about 4 weeks. And the value you get from it, you'll be amazed. I will encourage you to come participate as we deliver value for you. Those who have attended our webinars or our trainings will testify to it that despite the fact that how we price our trainings, we always surpass the delivery around it. But if Excel accountant is not something you're interested in, we have other trainings. You can see it at any point in time during the course of the year. You can join us, right? And if, for example, any of the trainings you're interested in has passed, you can reach out to us because the recordings are available. We can also be sold to you at a token. Now, what is the goal of today? This is our roadmap. By the end of this session, you will have an AI-powered framework to secure your next accounting job offer. We will move from the timeless rules of great preparation to cutting-edge AI tools that give you the undeniable advantage in the competitive Lagos and Nigerian job market. One, the practical masterclass. Winning in the real world. Apply AI timeless strategies to mock interviews and real-world scenarios. What does this mean? We'll basically be showing you how you can use AI to do mock interview sessions for yourself. The next one is the AI advantage, the new toolkit. leveraging intelligence for personalized feedback and strategic insights that would give you the foundation, the unbreakable rule, the master the essential interview principles and preparation techniques. Just imagine, AI itself is actually a technical expert. It can give you the opportunity of interacting with someone who is similar to someone within the HR space that has over 20 years experience within HR. So just imagine that you have someone with 20 years HR experience in front of you, now engaging you to prepare for an interview. Before now, what do you need to do? You beg one HR person or beg someone, but now you have that with AI, and that is the advantage you are bringing here. That is the value we want to show you that AI can do in terms of getting you prepared for interviews, right? So that is the goal. At the end of the day, that is the value we want to deliver, right? So before I go further, I would like to hear from participants what the expectation is for this webinar. So when they were coming for this webinar, what exactly was in their mind and said, oh, I'm coming to this webinar, this is what I want to achieve. I'm coming for this webinar, this is what I want to achieve. Yeah? So it would be nice to hear from people, chat box or through, yeah, either through from the chat box, or you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. Yeah? So people, you can raise your hand or drop a message in the chat box. So people are not saying anything. Nobody is saying anything. Nobody wants to. You don't have an expectation. Hello? Can people hear me? All right. So Aaron. Hi, Aaron.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, good afternoon.
To me, my expectation is like I expect to get more understanding on how I should behave professionally when I'm going for the interviews, and how adequately can I prepare myself before going into that crazy room. Yes, that is my expectation.
All right, thanks. So basically, if I hear you correctly, how do you prepare towards an interview and how do you behave during the course of an interview? Am I correct, Aaron? All right. So next, I expect to learn how to optimize AI for accounting interviews. Good evening. With a background in marketing and operations, but I don't have clues of what to prepare for. Okay. So I know this particular session is focused on interview for accounting roles, but the reality is that whatever we explain, all you need to do is tailor it to any field and to work, right? So most of the examples we focus around accounting, but you can apply the principles to any role, whether for non-accounting roles. At the end of the program, I want to have a confidence during interviews and ace any interview I get invited to. Fantastic. You're in the right place. Gaining confidence ahead of interview preparations. Fantastic. You're in the right place. Learn how to use AI in preparation for interview. You're in the right place. Step-to-step interview process using AI. You're in the right place. Okay, all right. The role is an account lead. My expectation is to take advantage of AI. My expectation is leaving this webinar with the confidence to face any HR in my interview. Looking forward on having a professional confidence in answering interview questions. Expectation is to be able to use AI to strike appropriate answers for what the interviewers expect. How to ace my accounting interview using AI. Using AI to maximally for optimization. My expectation is to be able to prepare myself and confidently and speak in an interview, especially when asked questions that relate to a role which one does not have experience on. I have never attended an accounting interview. However, I want to have an idea of how it works, particularly using AI to navigate such interview. All right, good. I've seen a lot of feedback, and it would be nice. Okay, only one person raised his hands, and I think we've spoken to him. And it would have been nice to engage people just them to express themselves, because sometimes some information is lost when you type, right? But when people express themselves, you get to hear some things that are unsaid, right? And that gives you proper context in terms of how we should view things. Yeah. But being that said, I don't know if anybody wants to speak before we move on to the next slide. So we have Ayola. Hi, Ayola.
Yeah, good afternoon,
Yeah, good afternoon.
everyone. Yeah, I would like to, because I've attended a series of interview, and when I'm trying to follow up with the HR, either HR of the company or HR consultant, when I'm trying to follow up with them, and they will say that, well, the feedback is I perform excellently well, but on the long run, I wouldn't get, let me say, uh, I won't get the offer or the offer from the companies. And I was like, I'm always like, what's going on? That the feedback I got from this HR, I've performed excellently well. The company are interested in my CV, but now to take it further is always an issue. It was one happened. Let me paint a scenario. One happened around me that I mean, the interview had been done. I don't want to go through, but around May, they did the interview for me after the whole question, because it was a virtual interview. That thing happened May 21st, to be precise. But this last Thursday, the HR called me back and was like, "Why that? What happened?" I was like, "Are these people out of their mind? You that what happened that the company has been expecting? You didn't give me any offer. You said what you told me was the company said that they're fine, they're interested in my CV and my performance in the interview, and you said they don't want to go further. Now you now call me back just this last Thursday, and when I immediately I got this information as in about this webinar, I was like, I think I need to ace maybe because I don't know. That's why my expectation is, at least if there is anything that is still wrong, maybe after the review of the interview, maybe there's something that, maybe my posture, maybe my look, or the way I speak. I don't know. I'm just trying to like look for things that could have been happening. As I said, okay, let me join this webinar and know what are those things. And if I can gain more knowledge or more information through AI, so that it won't be as if wasting time, wasting energy, getting, I mean, getting prepared for interview, and on the long run, it won't be forthcoming. So my expectation is to get more information through AI. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Ayla. Thanks for contributing to our session. Right. So right now, I think we've gotten a lot of feedback, and we can move on to the next session so that we can get into the more granular detail around this webinar. So now, the first session is the foundation for elite interviewing. Every successful interview journey begins with an unshakable understanding of the core principles. This section will equip you with timeless strategies for preparation, communication, and confidence that are essential for any accounting role. Master these fundamentals, and you build the bedrock for leveraging advanced AI tools later on. Now, the technical skill gets you to the interview, commercial skills gets you the job. Now, what this means is that, see, the reality is that most businesses are not just looking for people that are very technical. They require some level of business or commercial acumen. What this is saying is that when you go, don't go with just say, oh, I understand debit and credit, right? Because more often than not, it's not just accountant that will interview you. You may see CEO, HR, and all. So you have to find a balance, right? So for example, I understand IFRS. I understand this stuff. But for example, how does the current macroeconomic environment impact the business? This that company, who are its competitors, right? Who are its customers? How does it make money, right? Understanding, oh, this is how they play, oh, and what happens in that sector? Are there latest development that's happened in that sector that impact the business? What is the risk associated to this business, right? So most often than not, know the technical thing, know your accounting, know it very well is very important, but blend it with your understanding of business acumen and commercial acumen by knowing what is happening in that sector, what is the risk, how does the macroeconomic environment impact that business, who are its customers, who are its vendors, how does this business make money, right? When you bring all those flares, combination with your technical skill, it sets you apart from every other person during the course of the interview. So at the course of when you are preparing for an interview, you need to put in that expectation or that natural understanding to the business. Because the reality is that when they interview you and you bring out that additional advantage, they'll say, no, this person understands this business and can come on board. Don't just focus on just only accounting. Your accounting for me is like 60%, right? And all those other pieces are 40%. I usually tell people that interviewing is broken down into 3 broad components. One is your introduction. 2 is the question and answer during the course of the interview. And 3 is the conclusion. The introductory part is basically saying, introduce yourself. Have you ever attended an interview? I'm sure that if you pick 20 interviews, 18 of them would ask you, introduce yourself. Meaning that you already know the first question. So how do you even answer that question in the first place? The reality is that you should check that question. You should already have practiced it so much that if they wake you from sleep, you can answer that question without blinking an eye. And the truth is that with AI, once you know that question, you can practice over time, and AI can help you refine that your response and make it bulletproof, right? And the reality is that once you have a defined scope of those answer that question, you can now tailor it to various companies as you go and approach them. So for example, one common mistake that people make is sometimes they don't tailor their response to address the company they are dealing with. No matter how experienced you are, if you are going for an interview for a manufacturing business, you have to tailor your experience and your introduction to fit manufacturing business. If you have an experience, you're going for a fintech, you have to tailor your introduction to fit a fintech person. Because at the end of the day, you find out that there's some of your experience that are not important to the fintech person. You shouldn't be talking about it too much. Focus on what is relevant for that role. And that's what people call transferable skill or knowledge, right? Something between the two. You don't waste your time. By the time you focus on, oh, I am explaining things outside what they do, they will lose touch. Do you understand? Like, for example, a friend of mine was talking about a scenario whereby he was interviewing auditors, right, for an accounting role. But the auditors were speaking audit language. But meanwhile, what were they coming for? They're coming for an interview for an accounting role. What do they need to do? They need to speak accounting, not audit. Because what they're going to go and do is not audit. Nobody's going to go and test your understanding of audits during the course of your day-to-day work. You have to tailor your response to the that role in question. Now, the second piece is, you see how AI will help you prepare for that second bucket. But the last bucket, which is questions, and typically, they ask, do you have any question for us? We know that question. So how many of us prepare for questions we're going to ask a potential interviewer before the interview? All you need to do is tailor the question to suit the role, the organization, and the person interviewing you. Just ensure that whatever question you're asking is covered around these 3. So for example, what is the expectation for me within the first 6 months when I join this organization? Is that answer the question of me as it relates to that role. 2, the person's expectation. And the other thing is already showing that you are showing interest in that role, right? And sometimes a lot of people ask similar questions. So you need to think about, how do I make my own question unique? That is not the regular question they hear every day. So for example, you've been in this business for over 5 years. How have you been able to manage that long-term stay? What are the critical challenges that you've seen new recruits who join these organizations find challenging? How can I quickly settle in as a result of me joining the organization? Those are questions that you could ask, right? Like you could tailor it. And the reality is that, you see this thing I'm telling you, you can use AI to prepare for it. All I need to do is drop maybe the LinkedIn profile of the person interviewing me, the job description for that role, right? Drop my CV and say, AI, I'm going, attach is a copy of the job description for the role, attach is a copy of the CV, of my personal CV, attach is a link to the profile of the person interviewing me. Using these three sources of information, what kind of question do you think, like personalized or relatable question, that address all three documents or all three sources and provides substantial question that would look very interesting and engaging to an interviewer of this nature? Trust me, you provide enough context for AI, and to tailor the question to suit you, the company, and the person interviewing you, and not just the regular question. And that is how to think out of the box, right? But we'll go into more details, and so that you see how we are leveraging AI soon. Now, the other part I talk about is the 3 pillars of interview mastery, which every successful interview rests on these unshakable pillars, right? They talk about insight, alignment, and narrative. Before leveraging any technology, you must master these fundamentals. Deep company insights. What are they telling you? Business acumen. How well do you know that business? How does the business make money? Right? What are the risks associated with this business? How is the business structured? Where is operations generally? Are they in Lagos? Do you have subsidiaries somewhere else? Understand that business. They think that you've been in that business before you even came there. They don't think you're even part of them already, right? Understand those things, right? Perfect role alignment. The role you are interested in, ensure that it is an alignment to you. Like I said, you're interviewing for an accounting role. You're an auditor. You're not talking audit. When you should actually be talking about what kind of skills do you have that an accountant needs that are relevant to that role. Role alignment. Do you get? No matter how well you yourself need to find that alignment between you, right? Then a compelling narrative. You have to have a story. Give them stories that will make them feel, if today they don't tell this person to resume, they are losing, right? You need to have that compelling story that, see, based on your experience, if they don't hire you, the business has made a mistake. Let them look at it that today, if I leave this interview, right, and interview someone else, you just say, we lost someone. Do you understand? It should not be the case of you are begging them. You should have that compelling story. And AI can help you build those experiences and bringing those pieces together for you, right? You need to have those three. Know them, hold them golden, and apply them. Are we together? Apply them. Don't take them for granted. Now, the next piece, I think some people are playing with our screen, so I'll just unshare and reshare my screen again because of our people playing the screen. Now, the next piece is AI, the co-pilot. Before now, you will see that a lot of us, when we're preparing for interview, we need to go and sit down with AI or go and sit down with someone to help you prepare. But now you don't need to go anywhere. You just sit yourself at home, right? And you can use AI to what? Prepare for an interview, right? So this section is talking about how cutting-edge AI transforms your interview preparation. Moving beyond your traditional methods, discover how intelligent tools become your personal co-pilot, refining your answers and enhancing your confidence. So what do you mean by this? You would see it, we'll tell you about it. And giving you that undeniable edge in the competitive Nigerian job market. Are we together? So AI will give you that advantage. Use it. Take advantage of it. It gives you that value. Go beyond, go way and beyond. Now, when they listen to you, they'll be like, wow, this person is made for mass. Are we together? Now, like I said, AI is what? The game changer, introducing the AI co-pilot. Generative AI is an intuitive, unfair advantage in your job interview. The reality is that, see, you use AI to prepare, you most likely outperform the average person preparing for interview with you. Because look at it, AI could act as a research analyst, if you look what AI can do to help you research on a company, you'll be shocked, right? And it can bring it to you. And this is something that if you, even some consulting firm, what they can get for you for that business is, you cannot get a lot, right? And that's the power. And it's now available to you. So leverage it. Gemini is way and beyond. You will see. I've already downloaded like 4 or 5 JDs. And you see how we could use AI to say, see, this is JD of this particular role. I'm ready for an interview with the HR manager. I'm ready for the interview with the CFO. I'm ready for an interview with this person. Using this job description, tailor in questions that I need to potentially, questions I can ask, questions that potentially that can be asked, and let me now respond to these questions and now assess my score based on a standard framework used to assessing interviews. Are we together? Now, so the reality is that one good thing is that when you use AI, it goes beyond just the company website. I understand that for Nigerian companies may be quite difficult because the reality is that a lot of businesses, how much information can you find on the internet? So there's some level of limitation. So what I typically would advise you is that if, for example, the company doesn't have a lot of data about themselves, what you can do in terms of preparation is say, okay, this business is in this place, right? What other organization does something similar to what they do that is well known? And use that to tailor in the kind of questions that it should help you build to answer questions in that company. Now, AI can leverage data coming from sources like Business Day and Nairametrics, right? Meaning that instead of you going to go and do Nairametrics and all that, it can tell you, okay, pull out data from those places and leverage and build it into what you're doing, right? So you'll be talking about things like no one else. Do you understand? So, for example, imagine a business that is heavily into raising funds in form of maybe debt from financial institutions. It can help you just pull out recent data from Nairametrics and pull out data from CBN and tailor things to help you prepare, right? So instead of you going to go and check, oh, what is MPC data? Go and search from here. What is this later? This later? It can help you just put all those things together and summarize it in executive summary. Say, okay, this one, this is your, what is called that in Expo? Just give it to you, 1 pager, and you just carry it and read. Are we together? To help you to get better. Yeah? Now, AI can help you translate job description to exact question you'll be asked. So once you have your job description from a company, what do you need to do? Just dump your AI and say, CEO, I'm interviewing for this role. This is the job description. Give me this job description. What kind of questions can you ask, both behavioral and technical, associated to this role based on this JD? AI will spool question. Question yakpa. Do you understand? You can now go for that. Okay, these are the questions. Pick question 1. Bam. Record. These I want to respond to this question. AI assess my score and gives me result. You will see it all playing out. Yeah. Now, you see, at the end of the day, right, there's what you call the STA Framework. And typically, they usually use it for interviewing. It helps you structure your response to make it make more sense. So when they ask you a question, you don't say, oh, how did you spend the last 6 months of your software? You're just saying, I did it. No. You say, it can help you assess you to structure your response in terms of STA Framework. What is that? What is the situation? What task were you given? What action do you take to solve that task? And what are the results? You see, that framework is a standard framework in interviewing. Most times when you're answering a question and they ask any question, if you tailor your response in this framework, this situation, they give you, for example, they say, oh, explain a situation whereby you had what's called it, a clash with your MD. Say, oh, there was this instance where my MD wanted a particular task to be done this way, and I had a different perspective of how this task should be done. That's the situation, right? The task was relating to delivering data from various companies and comparing their outcome. That's the task. What steps did you take? I took steps in which one, I did an independent research, put out data from various platforms, compiled it, and gave out the final outcome of what the results could be. I also compared with the approach my MD has taken to do this. What I noticed was that the result I got was better than the approach my MD had taken. What I now did was that I explained to my MD how I had gone through the data and how the data was different from the outcome of what he had expected, and told him that, oh, this, if you go this approach, this is an implication for us as a business. If you follow this approach, this is implication for our business. As a result, I would suggest that we go about this. And what I did was that I meant to go and meet him in a separate place when it was alone to explain him so that it doesn't look like I'm telling him he's wrong, but gave him the pros and cons of the approach I've taken against it. I followed what? The STA framework. Once I follow that structure alone, it has made my answer more structured and well-defined compared to just talking haphazardly. Someone can clearly see I've explained the situation, the task, the action I took, and the results. So any interviewer will be more impressed with the result I've seen. So what I'm saying is that if you give AI, for example, a particular situation, it can help you tailor the situation for you based on your experience into that STA framework, so that when you get to the interview, you can now use the STA framework to respond to what? The interviewer. Are we together? I hope we are seeing it. So let's take a pause. What questions do you have at this point in time before we go into more details? I'm coming. I'm coming. Hi, Femi. You can mute yourself.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you for this webinar. Thank you very much. Okay, so my question is that what if going for the interview, what if it's somebody that does not even have accounting experience? Like I've not done anything finance before.
So,
Like somebody that is just trying to transition into the finance department, into the
now,
financial sector.
yeah, so that,
So even before the interview stage, the CV review and all of that.
okay. So I know the way we are focused on more on the interview than preparing your job description and your CV to suit your roles. But if someone doesn't have an accounting experience, I think the first step will be to build your accounting experience. And how do you do that? One, are you an ICANN student taking ICANN
Yes,
professional?
I'm an ICANN student. I'm
Exactly.
currently doing ICANN.
Exactly. That's one step. Two is that have you volunteered to opportunities to help you build some level of accounting experience? Three is that you can follow like someone like Accounting Yard, follow us on various social media platforms. You have a lot of practical experience that you could gain from it so that you can embody it in your CV, right? Courses you've taken, videos you've learned, and how you've taken personal development to improve your knowledge on accounting. Now, the reality is that because you don't have an accounting experience, I don't expect you're applying for experience roles. You'll be applying for roles that are very close to the level where you are operating at, right? So when you combine all that together, then it can improve your chances of being called. Do you understand? Because the reality is that for you, your issue is not interviewing. Your issue is first even being called for an interview. Am I correct, Femi?
Exactly. Yes, that's the issue. Yes.
Exactly. So you should focus on development that you can now use to bring it to your CV. Now, the good part is that AI can, if you explain your experience in very, very detailed form, AI can pinpoint your relevant skills and experience, which you can put on your CV. I'm not expecting you to lie. I'm expecting you to take yourself personal development, train yourself, take courses, watch videos. YouTube has a lot of courses online that are for free. Attend trainings like people like Accounting Yard on various trainings we have. Take it, apply it, then explain your experience to AI and tell AI that how can you leverage this into your CV, then you can improve your CV. But like I said, this is not focused on CV, but that is how you could address that gap. And it takes time. For you, it takes some time. The critical thing is to do is one, apply for jobs within that early stage of your career. That's one. Two, take your time to develop yourself so that you can now have relevant experience that are transferable or relatable to the roles you're applying for. And that can improve your chances of being called. Yeah?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hi, Olad.
Hi, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you so much. Thank you for this webinar. So my question is, for example, now you are going for an interview, you are applying for a role that is different from what you have experience on and in a different industry. Okay, let's say you have experience as an accountant in a manufacturing industry and you want to apply for a role of an internal control officer or an auditor in, let's say, a banking industry. Is it possible for AI to tailor your experience, your interview question to, so you'll be able to ace the interview and succeed in the interview?
Okay,
That's my
so
question, sir.
okay, so explain. So let me explain the scenario again, right? You have experience in what role? Manufacturing.
Yes, as an accountant in a manufacturing industry.
Okay, so you want to now transfer to internal auditor in what? In where? Internal control in where?
In a banking industry.
In the banking industry. Okay, all right. So it's possible AI can leverage it. So what AI will help you do is find the common similarity between your role within the manufacturing and the role you're applying for. Find that common ground, right? Is what we call transferable skill, right? Such that it now helps you properly be able to address questions within that area. The reality is that it is not easy. That's the honest. AI can only help you identify those potential mutual ground between the two and help you, what's called it, I'm looking for the right word for it, push out those particular area, make it more calling to your entire team. So from your CV, it reflects that. From when you are explaining your experience, it's able to give you questions that you now need to properly, for example, your introduction needs to be tailored towards an internal control role, right? Your answering of question need to provide similar examples of things you're doing that are very relatable to your internal control. So AI can help you prepare you towards that perspective. Yeah. It's not as easy because the reality is that someone would prefer someone with internal control experience within the banking industry compared to someone transferring from manufacturing. But with proper preparation, it can give you that advantage. That someone say, oh, this person is showing keen interest and is showing transferable skill that it can leverage on. And we don't mind training a person to improve on what the person already has. Do you get? So it's not an exact solution, but it improves your chances of getting it compared to if you're just gone neutral. Olad, I've answered the question. All right. Let me add. All right. Does anyone else have any question again? Sure. Sure, you can have your CV showing accomplishment, right? But an accounting interview in real estate company, sure. All right. Does anyone else have any question? Okay, Sharifa. Does anyone have any question?
Hello, everyone.
Hi, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Thank you for this opportunity. So my question goes like this. How am I supposed to answer a question whereby they ask me to rate my Excel skills as a young graduate that had only basic, I had only basic in my Excel. So how am I supposed to answer that question and without not giving them the hope that I had lots. I know lots on Excel. Like
Okay.
they asked me to rate my Excel skills, and meanwhile I only have this basic that Excel skills. I don't know whether you understand my question.
So now, the way I'll answer that question is one. When we get to the leveraging AI, you will see how we could tell AI to help you answer some of those questions. I have my personal answer to that question, and I can share with you, right? If you go to the accounting our YouTube channel, you actually see how to answer question around rate your Excel skill, right? But generally, just to give you an idea, the way I answer that question is, if I have not done Excel before, first, I will encourage you today to take a training on Excel. Good enough, organizing an Excel for accountant training starting 2nd of August. You can join it. If you feel the time is not right for you, there are a bunch of YouTube channels where you can learn Excel from. So the first step I'll first tell you is go and learn it, right? Don't go with the approach of, I don't know Excel and I want to go to an interview and I want to be able to answer their question. No, you should actually go and learn Excel. Do you understand? And take your time to learn it. But if I was going to answer the question, first, Excel is very difficult, or not difficult, it's a very broad tool. As a result, nobody knows everything Excel can do. So typically, when they ask me to rate myself in Excel, I typically rate myself middle range, 4, 5, thereabouts. So it's not looking like I am bad in it, but I'll explain that, at least I'm midpoint. But I go further, not just rating myself. I say, okay, this is what my knowledge in Excel. However, I've learned or built knowledge relating to key functions, like maybe VLOOKUP, if, pivot, some products. Just mention something very important functions that people use on the day-to-day basis linked to an accounting role. And also mention things you've done with Excel. So for example, maybe I built a management account using Excel. I built a sales dashboard. I prepared templates on borrowing, right? I prepared templates on maybe fixed asset register and all. So by the time you put all that together, the person needs to see that you have some level of experience using Excel. But like I said, for you, the scenario should not be that you don't have experience and you're saying, oh, there are no knowledge. No, you should actually go and invest in learning Excel, right? And that's where you should start from. And not think about how do you answer a question because you don't have no knowledge in it. You should actually go and invest in learning Excel. I'm not saying you should become perfect, but just take 15, 20 minutes every day, follow good YouTube channels, right? And you can learn. Even Accounting has a free video around Excel for accountant that teaches you almost 10 to 15 different functions that you can actually learn on your own that can build your knowledge on Excel, which you can leverage on. Are we together? All right. So Jane. Hello, Jane. Hi, Jane.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello,
Hi.
good evening.
Yeah,
Okay,
good.
my question is, um, if you're like an accountant, you're a trained accountant, a chartered accountant, but you've not actually worked as an accountant before, like you've been working as a salesperson in a banking, in a bank, and you want to like move to and being an accountant, you want to start working as an accountant. So how do you go about the interview? Because most times your CV will carry experience in, let's say, sales and nothing in accounting. So how do you ask AI to tailor your experience to include having something, but you already have knowledge because that's what you studied, and of course you also have some you've read up and all that, but you've not actually practiced.
Okay.
So how do you tailor that?
So yeah, so the thing is, right now, I will give you an idea, but this particular session is not focused on CV tailoring, but more on interviewing, right? So we're assuming that CV
Okay.
are focused on interview.
Yes, interview. If you go for
Yeah.
an interview, for example.
Now, so for me, the first thing you need to think is that AI cannot create what does not exist, right? So in the
Okay.
first place, right, you studied accounting, you are a chartered accountant, you're doing sales. You need to find a way, right, either through volunteering work, right, right,
Mm.
or take practical courses on accounting. Yeah. that you need to now add to your CV. AI cannot do that. You need to do that yourself, right? What AI can now do is, when you now bring all those little, oh, I have volunteered in this role, maybe in church, for example, you can volunteer to help them with the accounting function. You have maybe a group of friends and you are doing some accounting work. Do you get? Find roles that you can volunteer for that will not pay you, that have experience, which you can now bring to your CV, right? Now, once you brought to your CV, you can now basically say, oh, AI, this is my CV, right? You put some documentation to it. This is the job description. Help me enhance this CV, right? To prepare for a role relating to this job description. AI cannot suggest and make enhancements. But if you don't have those things there, AI cannot create nothing out of something. Yeah? Do you get what I'm saying? It's not magic.
Yes.
So you yourself need to personally do some element of personal development and things that AI can leverage on, and find some level of transferable knowledge to that new role that it cannot help you now make it louder on your CV. Are we together?
Yes. Thank you. Please, I want to ask another thing. Do you people run courses on accounting software like QuickBooks, Sage, and all that?
So at the moment, no, right? But we have partners that we work with, which can always suggest to you that help provide such. So you just reach out to us, we can definitely show you some of those people. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, sir.
No problem. So Modupe, I want to, because it's almost exactly an hour.
Good evening.
I want to ensure that we're able to spend the next 1 hour focus
Good
on
evening,
AI.
everyone. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me, sir? Good
Yeah,
evening,
I can hear you.
everyone.
I can hear you.
Thank you. The section was somehow impactful. But because I joined a bit late, I just want to ask a question, because for someone that been all this while in the public sector as an accountant, and the person is not exposed to the preparation of financial statements, the normal accounting work like in public sector, it depends on the department where you work. Some are not like exposed to preparation of financial statement like that. So if the person now want to go into for an interview in a private sector, and they are now asking preparation of financial statement, thank God that at least when we have it as an accountant, you may have a little idea. But in a situation where they are asking for the type of this Sage, a QuickBook, all those things that you, being a public sector, all this way, you are not using it. Like someone like me now, I did a training on Sage sometimes, but because that was in 2012, it was pitched through that time. But in my place of work, we are not using it, and before you know it, the thing, I don't even know how to operate it again. So someone like that now you now find yourself a good job in a private sector, and you apply, and during interview they were now asking you, oh, how do you think can one like survive, like moving from public sector to a private sector for an accountant that have not been used, in public sector they are not used to all this accounting software there. So what should the person do to thrive in a private sector? And during the interview, what preparation can someone do to make sure that interview will able to get a job in a private sector, moving from public to private? I don't know whether I'm able to put my question very well.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, right? So the first thing first is that, yes, we understand that there's going to be a challenge you moving from public sector to private sector, right? If the issue is at the point of preparation, right? I try to tell people that if you apply for a job, the moment they tell you they are going for an interview, always get the job description. Because the reality is, job description is similar to how you think about like your course outline or scheme of work. It gives you like an expectation about the role. So if clearly they've mentioned the fact that use of accounting software is an important skill, you need to prepare for it during the course of interview. You have no choice. So, for example, AI can now, if you drop that kind of job description for AI, it can tell you questions that you should be familiar with in terms of using the software, so that you can watch 1 or 2 videos to enhance your knowledge early enough to go into that interview. When you now go there, you can mention the fact that, see, I'm currently not using an accounting software, but I've taken courses in the past, right? And you can give example of how you've taken courses in the past. so that you have some foundational knowledge for using the tool. What you now say is that, and if the opportunity comes by you join, you're able to leverage on that and also just improve your knowledge on using that software. And that's the way I think you can answer it. But like I said, I want us to go deep into the AI part of things. But that's the way I would answer the question, Madam Odupe. I don't know if that helps.
Wow, very well. Thank you, sir. God bless.
All right. Hi, Azan. So I'll just take questions from Azan and Kendi. Then I'll move on to the AI session because we have just 1 hour left, right? And I want to ensure that we don't miss the opportunity of spending at least 1 hour using AI. Hazan, quick question so that we can move quickly. Hello, Hazan. If you are speaking, we can't hear you. I've asked to unmute you. Hazan, unmute yourself, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Thank you very much for the session so far. So my question is, how can I put best myself out as somebody that studied economics and then I've only worked as an investment banking intern before, and then currently I'll be interviewing with a company as an accountant. So I want to know that how can I put best myself in that position to know that to make them know that I have what it's needed to work in that particular role, considering the fact that I'm currently doing my ACCA program, and then I've done some courses on accounting, but not a role in accounting per se.
Sorry, repeat the question again. I didn't get that. Azan, please repeat the question quickly. Hello, Azan.
Yeah. Hello, sir. I was not able. Okay, I said, how can I put best myself out, considering the fact that I studied economics, and then I've only worked as an investment banker intern in an investment banking space, and then currently, looking forward in the next 3 weeks, I'll be going for an interview for an accounting role. So I want to know, how can I best put myself that I'm the best fit for the role, and stating the fact that I'm currently an ACCA student, and then I've done some accounting course in retrospect, but I've not been in an accounting role before.
So the first thing I ask is that, is the role an entry-level role? The accounting?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's an entry-level role. It's easy for you, right? So at the end of the day, because you have some fundamental knowledge from the courses you've taken and also from the fact that you're an ACA student, you can use that as your major learning point. The interview question will be focused around very early stage questions. So for example, they'll be asking a question around they will ask you very basic accounting questions, not ask you anything complex. They will ask you maybe something linked to standards. How do you treat double entry and all? Do you get? You just need to now be able to demonstrate that based on your knowledge of accounting and courses you've taken. Do you get? But I always tell people, if you have the job description for the role, look at the job description. It gives you insight on the kind of likely question they ask you, because they want to be able to address your knowledge based on the job description itself. So that can help you answer those questions. Do you get? If you have the JD, you can share with me, and it's one of the things we could use during the course of the AI to test it. Yeah. All right. Hi, Kendi. Unfortunately, for the rest of the people, I would not be able to answer your question at this point. Maybe some other time we'll go there, right? Given the fact that we need to get into the AI session, which is the key focus of this webinar, right? So that I'm not the one answering some of these questions. We're seeing how we could leverage AI to improve our interviewing skills, please. Hello, Kendi.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Thank you for this. I really appreciate. Please, I want to ask a question. For like me, I've been in the construction industry for a while now. So I just switched into finance and consulting company. So now, to be the head of accounts in this area, I've been given a mandate to go and work on how I want to structure this this unit account, like a pioneer head of account, and how to structure this place. And also, there's some other company that want to add to that. It's not that I want to be consolidating the account, but like I will be the one that will be supervising all these other subsidiary as well. So I'm just trying to ask you that what should I be looking at, to be able to structure it well. There's no structure on ground before. So I just need to walk around all this and to see how I'm going to, start this unit, and maybe make it to be standard and everything.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah. So thank you for your question. Right. Right now, because of the way the webinar is structured, right, your question is not a question that's an interview question, but I know someone can ask that question because of an interview. But I think the critical thing you need to note is that first, understand what are the challenges the business is facing and write them down, right? And where do you want the business to be? What are the results or the outcome of where you want to be? If you have those put together, right, you can leverage AI to advise you on what are the next steps you need to take for the next 6 months, and what are the kind of things that you could do to help you solve it. Now, the reality is AI would profile solutions and tell you things you need to do, but then someone needs to do it very well, right? Meaning that you yourself need to have that knowledge to execute whatever recommendation AI has provided. So the question is, do you have that relevant skill and knowledge to execute what AI has provided? Because AI will not do the work. It will only provide you with how to go about it and the tools. So the question really is now, do you have the necessary knowledge and skill set to go about executing the recommendation from AI? Yeah. I don't know if you got my suggestion, Kenny. All right. I assume you got my recommendation and suggestion. Well, I'll move on to the next one. Yeah. So sorry, I may not be able to answer question at this point, so that we can move on to the other areas, because the focus is on AI. We've not used AI at all. Okay. All right. So right now, just to re-emphasize that Accounting Yard is we organize various trainings, right? We just finished our financial modeling training. By 2nd of August, we'll be doing Excel for accountants. For the Excel accountant goes for 32,000 and 16,000. But by virtue of the fact that you've joined this webinar, we've created a discount for you, right? And that discount is roughly 12,000, right? But it's only available between today and end of day tomorrow. By end of day tomorrow, it will revert to the 16,125, and the total I'm referring to is with VAT, right? And they'll drop the link in the Zoom link. Otherwise, you miss out. Yeah. So you will see the link dropped in the chat box. And like I said, it's only available between now and end of day tomorrow. Otherwise, you cannot access it after then. Yeah. It will revert to the old price. So please take advantage of it, as it's only available for those who attended the webinar, and it's only available between now and the next 24 hours. Yep. Now, so we got to the third section of this particular webinar, which is now practical scenarios for your success and how you could use AI to prepare for an interview, right? So the first example we want to do is basically around, imagine you're applying for a senior associate or associate role within the Big Four, right? And you want to prepare for it. We have the job description, and you see me leverage AI to show you how you could potentially prepare for an interview, right? So the first thing first is that we'll be making use of Gemini. So just so that for people that are new to the use of platforms like this, Gemini is Google's version of AI, right? That uses the LLM. Yeah, you can find it by just clicking at the top right if you log in and basically click on Gemini. Yeah. See Gemini. Can you see Gemini here? Click on Gemini. So there is someone playing with the screen. Who is that person? Okay, we'll find the person. Yeah. So you open Gemini, right? And for us, we are on the pro version. So I'll put it on pro version. Yeah. Now the next portion is I have a job description for a associate role, right? So what do I need to do? First is that I bring that document, I attach the document itself. So for me, I put in term interview. So I have it here. I think, oh, the file is open, so let me go and close it. Yeah, so I can now upload the file. Interview. JD4, right? That's step one. I've attached what? The JD for the associate role within the Big Four firm. The next thing is that I'll make use of what we call the craft prompt, right? I'll make use of what we call craft prompt. I'll open the craft prompt. So the craft prompt, what it does for you is that it creates a prompt in Gemini or ChatGPT based on to help you tailor your response. Most times, a lot of people cannot prompt AI. So because we don't know how to prompt AI, this helps you create that right prompt. So right now, I select it, I copied it, this, and I go to Gemini, and I paste it. Now, I need to just go to the top, right? And within the topic section, I describe the accounting role I'm preparing for. So if, for example, if anybody has an accounting CV, send it to me. Let me now attach the person's CV to this stuff so that AI can combine it, right? So if you have it, you can send, if you send your CV to, if you have any person that, a young accounting professional that has either an audit experience or just some early level accounting experience, send your CV to actyard@gmail.com, right? So that we can use your CV and attach to this scenario, right? But while we wait for someone to send their CV, let me type in what I'll write. I am an accountant who applied for associate role in an audit firm. Attached is a copy of the job description. Now, it's good to always, the name of the file, it's good to always tell the, what's called the AI, the name of the file. The name of the file is JD for it. So let me copy the name of the file. In file name this, right? So that he knows that that's the name of the file. Yeah. I'm an accountant who applied for associate role in an audit firm. Attach a copy of the job description. Yeah. Has anybody sent us a CV? Any person, let's see if we have any CV. Young accountant looking to apply for an audit role. Let's see. Okay, so I guess Ayola sent his CV, so let's use his CV. So let me go and rename Ayola's CV. Unfortunately, I don't know how you send the CV, but it's like the file is not okay. This kit has downloaded now. Let me go and download it now. For some weird reason, it looked like Ayala, there's something wrong with your CV, so I don't know what's wrong, but let's see. Let's use his own CV. Let's see. Okay, person scored his CV. So let's copy this CV and take it to our interview. Yeah, so let's go back to our Gemini prompt, right? And let's attach the CV. Upload, download, let's go to interview, right? With file name what? Resume. Using best practice for questions typical for audit firms, most especially for Big Four, for associate role. Provide technical and behavioral questions typically asked by audit firms. I will be interviewed by a partner in the firm. Right? Now, things you need to know that I've added. One is I've included the fact who I am. I'm an accountant. The role I applied for, associate role, right? I've included the name of the file for the job description. I've included my CV. So it has context of my level of experience, right? Secondly, I said best practice. Let me type the practice where practice, right? For questions typically asked by audit firm for Big Four, for associate role, provide technical and behavioral questions. That means you not just focus on technical, just behavioral questions, right? Then typically asked by audit firm. I also mentioned the fact that who is going to interview me? I'm going to be interviewed by who? A partner in the Big Four. Yeah? Also provide recommended response based on my CV and experience, right? Yeah? Using framework like STA. Are you together? That's what I've told it, right? So with all this now, all I need to just do is click this. AI will run. It will run. Using this stuff, it's going to go in very detail, granular detail, explain how it's going to come up with it, right? So the first thing is going to generate the prompt which I need. So what he has done is generate the prompt. You see, you have to act as an expert interview coach for an accounting program praying for a significant career opportunity. The candidate is Ali Sulaiman Sheba, an accountant with over 4 years experience in sectors including ICT, real estate, and this, right? He said the job description, he said attached are 2 critical documents. One is what? Job description. The other one is candidate CV. It's mentioned document. The upcoming interview will be a partner at the firm. This implies that the questions may be strategic, probing, and focus on business acumen. In addition, technical and behavioral aspects, the goal is to prepare the candidate to confidently and effectively articulate this proposition. It defines the role. Role, you are a seasoned audit partner at a Big Four with over 20 years experience. You have dispensed your career in financial service audits and have interviewed hundreds of candidates from associates to senior managers. You are an expert in identifying top talents, possess a deep understanding of technical skills, behavioral competence, and professional presence required to succeed in a high-performance audit firm environment. You are also a master interviewing coach, known for providing practical, actionable advice that helps candidates shine. You see the role? AI has defined the role. Can you imagine? Can I get this kind of person with this kind of experience sitting next to me? No. So what do I need to do? I will copy from context. right? All the way down to the end. I will copy this. I will now paste it here, right? And now tell AI to run. With this, it will now provide responses and what? Questions and responses in that AI. See? Analyze your strengths in your CVs, right? Potential gaps to address is telling you already issues you face. Technical interview questions, recommended responses using the STA framework it has given you. Situation: during my time as the finance officer at Capital Structure, I was responsible for overseeing end-to-end payment process. We had a deep understanding of our internal controls. Can you say it's related to audit firm? My primary task was ensure that all payments from vendors on payroll is listed for you. Question 2 is AI generating question. See question. See question. See question. Once it's done, what I need to do? I just export it. Tada! Ali Shoeba has his question. Do you understand? Open it. And what do you say? He has analyzed his CV, right? Technical interview questions, recommended responses, he has given it based on the STA framework. Can you see? Describe your experience with preparing financial statements and related disclosures. He has given response. Behavioral questions. The job requires a proactive approach to problem solving. Describe a time you proactively identified and solved an issue. See the response. This role requires excellent attention to detail. Tell me about the time your attention to detail was saved. Detail saved the day. Response. Describe a situation where you had to work as part of a team to complete a complex project. Response. Advice for the interview with the partner. He's saying advice. Strategic advice for interviews. Advising you from a strategic standpoint. How do you need to take that in? Think like a business advisor. Demonstrate business commercial awareness. Express your why. Ask insightful questions and be confident, not arrogant. Can you see what AI has done? This is AI for you. So AI has provided a response, and I think Victoria has a question. Hi, Victoria.
Hi. Please, what was the first prompt that you did? The first craft prompt that you made that made AI to refine before you then sent it again to get this particular, response.
Okay, so the first thing was I made it what we call craft prompts. It gives you context, role, action, I think a framework, and I can't remember the meaning of T, right? Is a template that a framework used for prompting AI. So that way it makes AI more efficient in terms of how it addresses your question. So it's one of the things we share for free during the course of the webinar. And this is that template first, right? So the only part that is required for you to fill is the topic section. And this is what it looks like, right? Topic, context, role, right? Action, and format. Yeah? So
Okay.
at the end of the day, this is what you paste. Once you paste it, right, like we did, all you need to now do is describe the topic, which is what we did, right? So this is what is it here. I attach the two documents and describe my topic. This is only section you need to fill, right?
Okay, only the topic. The
Only
other
the
ones will just fall in.
Exactly, only the topic section. Once you fill this portion, AI will now generate the prompt itself. Right now, you have not generated a prompt. You've created what you call, we call it a metadata, right?
Okay.
Something that will help AI to know that you want to create a prompt. So AI will now go and create the prompt itself. You will now copy it. You see this context, right? You will now copy it like this. This is the prompt. Typically, this is what a lot of us write when we are prompting AI. However, what we write is not strong enough. Do you understand? So, for example, let me go to ChatGPT, for example, right? I've done the prompt again. Let me now attach the document. Right, just to show you. resume, what's that? What's the second one? JD for webinar.
JD.
Yeah, I've attacked it. So you see, again, that same prompt, I've copied it. This one is basically, it's telling you, it's highlighting a summary of his scene, it's giving you his strengths, potential gaps. It's now going to generate question from ChatGPT. Similar, following the STA framework, it's generating it for him. Do you understand? Does that make sense?
It does. Okay, so
Cool.
you're going to share the craft prompt with us.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So that's an example, clear example of where there's a candidate, he has a job description, he has the job description, he has his what's called it, his CV, and way to narrate the kind of interview he's preparing for. And our AI is going to generate questions. So this is providing question and responses you can use to prepare, and you can make it better in terms of preparing for an interview. That is one. The other one we want to do next is, but let's see, do people have questions? Yes, it's being recorded. It's available on the YouTube channel. Yes, the file is for free and we'll share it. All right. So yeah, I'll share it and you can use it, and that's it. All right. So that is step one, right? So we've all seen how you can use it. So now the other one is, let's say, for example, I mentioned the fact that during the course of an interview, there are so many questions that could be asked, right? One of the questions is introduce yourself. Yeah. Is anybody willing to describe himself, an introduction, right? I want to get AI to analyze your response. Is anybody willing to do that? Anyone? So you tell us the role and you basically just describe your own. Anyone, please? Anyone, please? If I do it, it may not be as effective. So I want someone to nominate himself and just talk about a role he wants to interview for. Nobody wants to. So that means we should just keep this particular one, Abby. If there's nobody willing to. Okay, Obashola wants to try it out. Hi, Obashola.
Hi, accounting. Good afternoon.
All right. So now, Obashola, what role do you want to apply for? Let's think about the role. What role? Let's describe a role you want to apply for. The idea is that you want to provide an introduction. So let's assume you're applying for a role. Tell us that role, and we want to assess your introduction to see how strong your introduction is. What role do you want to apply for?
I'm applying for a tax analyst at ExxonMobil.
You're applying for
what? A tax analyst role.
Tax analyst.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. So let's try something. I've not tried this before, but let me see if you talk, if it can record it here. So now I want to start recording here, and I want to see if the prompt, this platform will record what you're saying. So let's try it out. Yeah, speak. Wait, hold on. All right, Obashola, go ahead to speak.
I'm applying for a tax analyst role.
No, don't. So no. Okay, don't worry. So what I want to say. Hold on. I think your network is not good. Let's try someone else. Obashola, your network is not good. Let's try someone else. Your network is not good. Can someone else volunteer, please?
Okay, I'm applying for.
Okay,
hold on.
So just bear with me. I'm going to recap what you are saying such that it's able to record whatever statements you make, right? So I want to do something. I'll take the craft prompt. Let's go and copy the craft prompt again. Yeah, I've copied it. All right. So let's describe the role. You want to apply for what? What role do you want to apply for?
Finance manager role.
Okay. What organization and what sector is that company in?
IT.
Are they any specialization? So the IT, are they into equipment leasing? What are they into exactly?
Yeah, into software for real time.
They are into software development.
Yeah, for real time online processing.
For real-time online processing. Okay. So what I'll write next is that I will provide a transcript of my introduction during an interview. I want to please review in line with best practice relating to assessing a candidate across key metrics for an introduction. Score me on each metric and identify areas of strengths and weakness and provide recommendation of where I can improve on using tangible and relatable example, right? What else? Now, ensure my communication is clean and clear and understandable. Given the nature of the role, right? So I've given it the prompt. Now, I'm going to so Rosemary, do me a favor. Send me a voice note of the introduction so I will play it for AI. Right? Send it to me on WhatsApp. I will now play it for AI so that AI can transcribe it. Instead of me saying it, people can hear, I also play it from my phone. Do you understand? Because what has happened is that what I wanted you to say, I wanted it to be that it's transcribing what you're saying. But the way it is, it cannot. Do you understand? Yeah? Can you send me a voice note of you introducing yourself quickly, please? Yeah?
Okay, let me do that.
All right. So while she's saying it, let's just read through the context. So now it's saying that context, you are to act as an executive career coach for a finance manager who is praying for an interview for a finance manager role within the Nigerian dynamic IT industry. The IN company specializes in software development for real-time online processing, a sector that demands financial leaders who are not only technically proficient but also agile, forward-thinking, and excellent communicators. The client needs a critical and expert review of their interview introduction, which is their first opportunity to make a strong impression. The goal is to refine the introduction to be perfect, ensuring it is powerful and relevant, putting them as an ideal candidate for the role. The candidate will provide their draft introduction in the space provided, right? Blah, blah. You are a top-tier executive recruiter, interview with over 20 years specialized experience. Your entire career has been dedicated to placing senior finance professionals, CFO, finance director, finance manager, who are into leadership roles within the Nigerian technology and software development. You have an unparalleled understanding of what hiring managers and C-suite executives at tech firms look for in a finance leader. You are an expert dissecting communication, assessing strategic fit, and providing actionable feedback that transform a good candidate into a must hire candidate. Right? Can you see everything? Now, what I need to now do is that in this space, I'll provide a transcribed version of what you say in this place, right? And we'll now get AI to now assess the candidates. Yeah? So we'll just be waiting for her to provide that the transcript, and let's get Gemini to do the work. Yeah. So we'll wait and get that feedback. But while she's coming, let's listen to what questions that people may have. Victoria. Hi, Victoria. Okay, Victoria, I can't hear you. Maybe you left your hands up. So let's look. Joy. Hi, Joy.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Joy.
Okay, my question is basically on for someone that has experience and is applying for a senior level role. So, most times is the questions are based on, practical life scenarios, and you have other candidates who are, who have the same experience, who have the same, even more qualifications than you in a senior role like that. So my question is, how best is this situation is now may not be about maybe how you're going to answer the question or how best can you answer your question based on this senior management level that you are applying for to set you aside, to set you apart from all other candidates who are also qualified as you are?
Suddenly, you need to stand out. You have to find a way to stand out. So what makes you stand out? One is very strong preparation. A lot of people don't prepare for interviews. You assume, oh, they'll get a job, right? One critical thing I always tell people is that don't wait till you need a job before you start interviewing. So when you interview a lot of times, it helps you build experience and knowledge, right? That you can now apply later on. That's one. So because you've built experience over the time, you are more confident. Two, use AI to prepare. When you use AI to prepare, for example, a lot of the questions and scenarios that you ask, it helps you fine-tune and make you more confident and tell you how to answer those questions that are better than the way others would have prepared for it. Do you understand? So if, for example, you ask a question and use AI to prepare, you tell AI, assess what I've done. AI will give you feedback, tell you, oh, this is your shortcoming, this is your strength, this is your weakness. You send it again, you respond again. AI will refine it, assess it to you. But then you do it 4 or 5 times for different questions. Your response will be so good that when you get to the interview, you'll be better than the other candidates. So this, and which is what you see will happen here. Yeah?
All right.
All right. So for example,
Thank you.
she has applied for a role. She has sent me a voice note, right? And we've done this. Now, I will play. Rosemary, I just deleting. Okay.
Hi.
All right. So I'm going to play Rosemary's voice note, right? And how she has responded to our introduction so that you see AI translate it. Are we together?
My name is Rosemary. I'm a finance professional with over 10 years experience in financial planning, analysis, and risk management. I'm also proficient in budgeting, forecasting, and implementing cost-saving strategy. Also, expert in financial reporting, compliant with regulatory requirements, and optimizing cash flow.
Funny, it's not translating it. Funny, it's just fun.
Finance professional with over 10 years experience in financial planning, analysis, and risk management. I'm also proficient in.
So it's just painful that he's not able to, how do I put it? I don't know why it's not picking the voice. No.
My name is Rosemary. I'm a finance professional with over 10 years experience in financial planning, analysis, and risk management. I'm also proficient in budgeting, forecasting and implementing cost-saving strategy. Also, expert in financial reporting, compliant with regulatory requirements, and optimizing cash flow. Over the years, I've helped companies in also making sure that their cash flow management is at the top notch.
Okay. So, Rosemary, your introduction is short, right? Let me drop it. So now you see that it has assessed Rosemary's voice notes, right? Clarity and conciseness is scored Rosemary 2/10. Relevance to the role industry scored 5. Impact and the hook 2/10. Demonstration of seniority 3/10. Confidence and professionalism 3/10. Right? So you can see it's not going to identify the kickback and all. So you see that with our voice notes, it's able to assess all this, right? So let me just do my own introduction and see how he's able to frame it, right? And we'll just see how we apply it in this particular scenario. So hi, my name is Olad. I'm a finance and accounting professional with over 10 years experience, cutting across multiple industries. I'm currently the head of finance at a agri-tech business. I started my career in Babangona. No, sorry, let me just cancel it. Don't worry, hold on. Because I'm trying to not say too much information. That's what's causing my problem now. Hello, my name is Oladele. I'm a finance and account professional with over a decade experience within the accounting space. I started my career with one of the big fours where I spent almost half a decade auditing clients across various industries. Within that space, I was able to audit clients within telecommunication industry, the IT space, financial sectors. After spending roughly 5 years, I moved on to join Chill. Chill is a subsidiary of Samsung that basically does advertising and marketing for the Samsung brand. In that space, I led the entire finance unit, managing end-to-end of the finance process, right? Dealing with statutory auditors, the bank, regulatory authorities. Within that space, I was known as the best month-end closing manager, where within Africa, I had 3 consecutive month-end closing rewards. I even went on to close 3 years of statutory audits without any hitches or corrections coming from the auditor. I moved on to join one of the largest manufacturers of aluminum corn in Nigeria, which owns roughly about 60% of the market share. In that space, I was able to develop a reporting template that streamlined reporting process. In that process, I also led month-end closing for multiple years. I remember during the transition to SAP, the CFO met me and gave me a tap on my head, on my shoulder. Why? Because I was able to deliver clean data from the old ERP into the new ERP without any hitches. After spending roughly almost 3 years in that, I moved on to join one of the largest manufacturer of cultivator of maize in Africa. In that space, I'm currently the head of finance, where I have demonstrated skills around fundraising, business process improvement, and also managed a team of roughly about 20 people. In that capacity, I've learned how to understand business processes, manage risk, and also engage with senior level management, including board level engagement. All these have made me be able to prepare for roles relating to finance manager, which I'm going to bring on board to help you drive the business in terms of growth and leverage my background in computer science to be able to interact properly with the team relating to within the IT space. I look forward to joining you, and I hope this makes a great sense for you. Thank you. So now, yeah. So now I've done an introduction, right? And this is what it does for me and assesses me online real time. Typically, I don't like this myself. It's not good. It's not good. Is Ojoro? Is Ojoro?
You tried now. 7/10.
The reality is that one thing I'll tell you is that because I was trying to adjust and not give too much, a lot of information, that's what's causing this. But see, so you see, you have told me that the story is chronically but remains slightly filler words, right? Roughly. It's telling I should not use it. Do you understand? That's why he said clarity is a 5. Your experience is exceptionally relevant, Big 4 training, industry leadership, tech integration, and also top-tier qualification. The content is highly impactful, zero audit correction, SAP migration, but the delivery buries these achievements in middle of the story. Your role demonstrates seniority, but some casual language, give me shoulder, kindly undermine executive presence. While the confidence in your skill is clear, hesitation and a tentative closing, I hope this makes a great sense for you. I shouldn't have said that, but because of us in a webinar that is saying it. So, detailed analysis. So, it has assessed it exceptionally. Areas of improvement, it has given me, it has told me, actually, recommendation for improvement. It also told me, right, why it's better. This version immediately tells me you're a leader. Recommendation, 2 group achievement, proof point seems your current approach, telling the story job by job. It describes it. Can you see? And has done what? It has helped me assess. And with this, I can do it multiple times until you see that my score that I've given initially, it improves over time and can get me to a perfect point. Do you understand? And that is how you can leverage AI to help you improve your introduction. And you now see the question that AI has provided, I can use it to what? Assess myself. Do you get? So when AI throws questions to me, I can respond and provide answers, and AI can assess myself. Do you understand? And that way, I'm able to improve myself in terms of this. So there's a lot that could be achieved. We've seen how to review a CV. We've seen how AI can help you improve your introduction. The same way we've done for introduction, we can also do it for conclusion, and we can also do it for question. Just the same approach. We give you the question, we respond, and AI will assess us and give us feedback. And I can do that front and back, 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 until I get a very perfect score. Maybe 9999999. Do you understand? And that way, we're in a better position. Yeah? For SAP, I think if you go to LinkedIn Learn, there's actually a good course on learning SAP, right? But you can chat me if you can reach out to me, and I can definitely help you out with people that can train you on that. All right. So I don't know if anybody has any question. So we can use the last 15 minutes of the webinar to answer any question that people may have. I don't know if you missed out, right? I think we shared the link for the discounted training that's only available for those who join this webinar, that can actually get the price instead of the 16,000, just pay roughly about 12,000, right? And you can enjoy our next training at the discounted. Please know that the price for the training is only available between now and end of tomorrow at the discounted price. After tomorrow, you will not have it again for that price, right? So, yeah. Yeah, so let me just get people to answer question by people. And let's see. Hi, Rebecca.
Hi. So I want to know this prompt to ask AI to rate our intro or any other thing, answer to interview questions, is still within the craft prompt, right?
So the way we
Just
did
another section of it?
No, so the funny part is that because of we're doing it on the thread, AI can already tell that they are related. Do you understand?
Okay.
So, yes, it's still related. I did not drop the prompt, but if you notice, he talked about how it's relevant to the role we've described above, because it's able to link that the initial prompt we dropped, the topic we dropped, is related to the response we're giving. So it's able to assess it. Yeah?
Okay. Thank you.
All right, please. Question, no, I'm surprised that people are not asking questions. Hi, Victoria.
Hi. So what I'm able to get from all of this is, one, there's a craft prompt, which you already said you share with us. Then two, we probably have to learn how to prompt AI. right? Because some of us do not know how to prompt AI.
Yeah.
And I was just learning not too long ago that it is the way you prompt AI that you'll be able to get a detailed, analysis or response, from AI. So now my question is, prompting AI, how does that, I know it's something that you just have to figure out on your own as a person. It's not something that you can be taught, but probably from what you have done so far, you just have to think about all the questions that you want to ask AI and then put it in there as a prompt, and then AI will figure out as the topic rather, then AI will figure out the rest.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So the thing is, prompting is a very important piece in the entire piece, right? But what we've done with the craft template or framework is that we've now limited it to you need to just create the topic. Then AI would use the craft prompts to create that proper prompt you want. For me, for interview, you need to understand, for example, from an interview perspective, you don't understand the basic elements. If I'm interviewing, what are the things I'm bothered about? Okay, what kind of questions am I going to be asking in an interview? Do you get? So all I need to do is get job description, for example, tell it who am I. My CV tells a lot about who am I. Then tell it about who is interviewing me, for example. Those three things, and just describe the scenario well enough, right? And AI can now help you build the rest. What's happening? Have I been hacked? Yeah. So AI can now do the rest. I don't know, my laptop is misbehaving, maybe. Yeah. So, but the reality about it is that the more you practice with these things, the better you become, right? So, for example, when you start using it a lot, you will now see, oh, these are the places I can potentially improve on, and these are the places that potentially I need to work on. Do you understand? So it gives you an idea. So what I'm saying is that use it more often to get better. That's one. Two is that there are certain things that you pay attention to. The more information you provide to AI, the better it is able to help you get that to that level. Do you get? But don't actually teach you. For example, most often are not, just ensure that you're thinking about, I'm interacting to maybe a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old. I want to describe things well enough. Just think about AI that way and provide enough information. Do you understand? Don't just assume that all the rest. Don't think about it. What if I'm thinking about the interview? I want to explain to my friend, okay, I'm going for an interview, I'm going to be evaluated by this person. What are those information I think AI will need? And that way is able to help you properly give you that response that you truly deserve. But the good part I'll mention is that with craft, all you need to focus on is on the topic area, right? And it will help you complement and complete the remaining part of it.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Almost see hands. Hi, Obashola. I hope we'll be able to complete it. Hi, Obashola.
Hi, accounting here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you?
All right, good afternoon. My question is this: in a situation whereby you find yourself doing an interview, and the interviewer strike you with some things that got you destabilized, how do you think the interviewee can gain back his or her strength?
Okay. So the way I would say that thing is, you see what you said. Let's use AI to answer your question, right? Let's pick our prompt, right? Copy it, and let's describe it. Let's just give AI. Yeah. So you say, right? I'm supposed to describe the interview of the role for, let's say, a senior accountant with let's say, a telecom company in Lagos, Nigeria, right? I was interviewed by the finance manager, and during the early stage of the interview, I got destabilized, right? How can one recover during the interview as I am asked other questions? To ensure I leave a good impression with my interviewer. Yeah, but the way I always, for me, the answer I'll give before I tell AI to give the response is if I prepare very well, right? If one question destabilizes me, it's a gradual process, right? The next session, I take it easy, take a time. I don't rush. I calm down and try to respond. Because once I am able to take the next question gradually, it builds confidence gradually, and I'm able to get back my feet. Then my last question, I ensure I give the person a question that would leave a lasting impression, like a question that would take him off his feet. Do you understand? But typically, if you are prepared very well, what you see happen is that I'm copying the prompt and I want to drop it here. Is that what you notice is that if you are prepared very well, those kind of questions will throw you off guard, but you have to bounce back if you prepare very well because you're very confident. But if, for example, you're already intimidated from the very beginning, before you even went to an interview, those kind of questions, when you destabilize, it's very difficult for you to recover. So what helps you be able to recover quickly is first, you are prepared very well before the interview. So that even when you get destabilized, you are still confident about your competence and your knowledge. They're able to bounce back during the course of the interview. Right? So this is what AI has prompted, right? Confident breach statements. You get a chance. It's giving you, know your next question, be proactive strategy and all. It's giving you, but I cannot read through this, but I can always copy it, right? And you can see the response. Yeah? And sometimes when someone asks a question that destabilizes you, the way I always think about it is also, when you see a question that wants to destabilize you, don't rush to answer it. Ask more questions to the person so the person can explain the question in more detail, so that you yourself, you're using that one to assimilate the question and be more strategic about your response. So that way, you're able to preempt the person early enough. Hi, Daniel.
Okay. I wanted to ask whether this AI we're talking about, is it this prompt you see on our WhatsApp, on our Facebook currently? Because I use it also, so I want to know whether that's what we're talking about, and then the other one you're referring to, like the craft, so, the one that we use.
Now, AI is present development platform, right? So, for example, you see this assessment I did on Gemini. I can do the same thing on ChatGPT. I can also use it on Meta. You know, if you open your WhatsApp, right, and you type Meta.
That blue icon. Yeah.
Right? If you type Meta on WhatsApp,
okay.
You see Meta, right? Meta AI, and you can actually do the assessment of assessing your skill and tell it, assess your skill and provide the response, right? But reality is that in AI skills, Gemini and ChatGPT are way higher compared to where Meta is. But you can do those assessments on Meta, and you can find it also on Gemini. Gemini is similar to, if you log into any Google account, right, you can easily just see all the options. And Gemini is at the bottom. Can you see Gemini? And you can add it to what you need. Yeah? Rosemary? Unfortunately, if we know to answer every question, we have just 4 minutes left.
So what I just want to know is, the way you started by adding the CV and the JD, are you supposed to paste your craft first before adding those documents, then before typing the topic of your interview or what role that you are applying for?
So first, then you type the craft prompt, dump the craft prompt, right? So that's step 1, right? That's the first thing you do. You copy it, right? It's here, right? When you're entering the topic, you enter the topic and also attach the document. The reason why you're attaching documents is that even initial prompts that AI is trying to generate is reviewing those documents to tailor the prompt so that it's more efficient. Do you understand? So it's good. The more context you provide, the better it is. So attaching that document initially and referencing it from the very beginning is very important and is actually vital in the entire process. Yeah? Rosemary, I don't know if I answered your question. Okay, I can't hear Rosemary, but let's go to Olad Samuel. Hi, Samuel. Yes, please.
Yes. Okay. Firstly, I want to appreciate your this particular knowledge. Yes. So, based on my also experience, this introduction part is my participation. I've also been an interview like that. I didn't give you enough introduction part, which actually put me to more questions by the interview. So,
I can't really hear you clearly. Your voice is a little muffled, so I can barely hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I get you. Can you hear me now? Is that now, right?
Yeah, I'm with you, Samuel. Unfortunately, I can't really hear you clearly for whatever reason. I don't know why. Right. And we're almost at the almost time.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. I said I want to appreciate your contributions and the knowledge shared on the based on the use of this AI. So, and based on my own experience too, I've also come across introduction parts in which I didn't give enough introduction of myself, which throws me to more questions by the interviewers. So I really appreciate this particular knowledge, and it's a big thing for me. And also, my question is, I believe before the introductions, there are also going to be an assessment of resume. So is there a particular way we can also assess our resume if it also meets, to rate our resume is well structured and well detailed?
Sure.
Before we can go to industry.
Sure. So let's use this guy's resume, for example, right? I'm dropping this. Please attach please review, right? Review the CV and provide recommendation on areas for improvement. The CV should be good enough to apply for senior accountants, right? Senior accountant or deputy finance manager. Provide on areas of improvement and areas of personal development. Right?
Okay.
Get the candidates to be a better accounting professional. Bam. I've done that. And I click OK. Right? Same prompt. I can do so many things with that prompt. And it gives me a result. Right? Once it gives me the result, I can copy it and I can paste it and to give me. Yeah? Are you together?
Okay. Yes, yes, sir.
All right. I've answered your question, Abi.
Yes,
so let me
very
go to
well.
the next person. Okay, Nicholas. It's already past 6, so I may not be able. I'll take okay, Nicholas will be the last person I would answer, and we'll close for the day.
Oh, thank you, Prof. There's this level of this part of interview that I think is becoming critical in the interview process. That is actually where the HR at the first phase of the interview get to ask people salary expectations. That is actually a pivotal phase in the interview that maybe, even though I fought it, but for the HR field now, they think is a way of trying to pull down the candidacy of those who apply for jobs. So I want to ask how this AI can also be used or deployed to know and prepare one for that particular hurdle. Is the first hurdle I think most candidates will need to face in the area of salary expectations. They are not interested to ask any other person, any other thing, just salary expectations. That's what I want to find out. Thank you.
So, Nicholas, my response would be, I don't think you need AI to answer that question. And the way I would answer that question, right, is that, see, at the end of the day, you know what you want, right? Have in your mind, what is the least I can go with and what is my expectation? Don't bother about AI. Because the reality is that if whatever you do, you're not fine with, don't bother yourself. Do you understand? So, for example, I know that I currently earn 500K, right? I'm looking for a role that will pay me 700. In my mind, I tell myself, what is the least that I can go with? Maybe it's 650. That is I will not bother myself. I will just tell the interviewer, this HR, this is what I want. I'm not going. If I want something higher, I'll take it higher. Now, the reality that there's not a lot of data relating to salary ranges that AI can provide. Potentially, you won't likely get it wrong. You can ask AI for salary recommendation for roles like this in this kind of organization. It can provide, but there's high likelihood that the answer will be wrong. So for yourself, it's either personally you decide on an amount that will say, if they don't give me an amount, I am not taking, or you find a way to get someone who works in an organization that knows salary in that industry, in that particular company, that can give you insight and say, oh, this pay rate is around this amount, and based on that, answer that question. And that's how we answer that question. I'll not disturb myself too much. Okay. Kuburat. Hi, Kuburat.
Okay. Hello. Good evening.
Yeah. Good evening.
Okay. Thank you for this. Mine is on how secured are the things you are feeding into the AI. For instance, you want AI to review something for you, and it has all sort of information. You even see some people, they will tell you some of these informations are you cannot share it with third party and all those stuff. And there are some documents that you might not able to, like, maybe blot out things you don't want people to know. So AI feeding information into it, is it really secured? Is there a way, can any other person access your information or something?
So any other person accessing information, I think AI is relatively secure. The only thing you have an issue with is that, is the AI using your data to help improve the learning of the AI itself? The answer to that is most likely yes. I'm not an expert in that area, but I believe your data is secure. The only disadvantage you have is that potentially your data you submit, they are using it to train the AI further to refine the responses it's sitting on. And that's the issue I think may exist. But security-wise, I think your data is secured. It's similar to how data in your email is secured with Google, right? And that's how I think AI is handling it from that perspective, right? So the last but not the least, Suleiman. Hi, Suleiman. Okay, you can't hear Suleiman. But the last
Can you hear me? Okay,
yeah,
can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I think my question is, is in regard to the next coming trading that you said there will be a discount. So I just wanted to shed more light because I didn't quite get it when you are hearing.
So the training goes for roughly 16,000, but the fact that you are joining this webinar, you get for 13,000. And my colleague has dropped it in the chat box, right? So that you're able to join the webinar, the class for virtual. This can only for virtual. For physical, there's no discount, right?
Oh, okay, okay, sir.
But this discount is only available to close of business tomorrow. Otherwise, after that day, you pay the full amount of 15,000 or 16,000, right? So take advantage of the discount and yeah, enjoy it. while it lasts.
Oh,
Hi,
okay,
Emeka.
sir. Thank you very much, sir.
All right, no problem. Hi, Emeka.
Sir?
Hi, Emeka.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
Yeah, good evening. How are you?
Please, on the training also, I want to ask, in case people like us that love to attend and maybe we will not be able to join the class while it's on, can we have access to the recorded video?
Yeah,
And
sure.
that's the first question. The second one is I missed the financial modeling training when it happened. Can I also pay for that one and get it also?
Yes, you can.
And how much would it be?
Yeah. So that one, I think it's either 15 or 20,000. I'm not too sure. But I've dropped my number on the chat box, right? So just chat me and potentially I can share the link for that one or the details around the financial modeling training so that you could get it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem. Yeah. So I don't know if there's no other question. I think we can call the webinar a close. I hope we've been able to make an impact in your life in terms of interviewing, leveraging AI, and able to learn from this experience. For those who did not join early enough and have missed one way or the other, the video will be available on our YouTube channel, and everything, the crap prompt template will also be available on that platform so they can leverage it and use it, right? And like I said, Accounting Yard is here for you. We host webinars like this. Always feel free to join us as we make a lot of impact in preparing accountants for the next stage in their career. And I believe that with this webinar, people are able to see a lot of value on how we could actually improve your confidence in preparing for interviews in terms of questions and in terms of how it could help you assess your responses, right? And thank you everybody for your time. Thank you for joining the webinar.
Thank you, sir.
And enjoy
God
the
bless
rest
you.
of your day. Have a great week ahead.